Hello and welcome to SP Reddy Study Circle's series of contemporary developments or contemporary issues. As we commemorate today, that is 26th July 2022, as a day, an international day for conservation of mangrove ecosystems across the globe. We will try to focus a little bit on what are these mangroves, what is the necessity of commemorating or what is the need for conservation of mangrove ecosystems globally in general, and what is the significance of mangrove ecosystems in India particularly. Now let's go back to some international agencies and efforts concerned with mangrove ecosystem conservation process. It all started on 26th July to 27th July 2015, that the UNESCO, United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, started worrying about conservation programs concerned with the mangrove ecosystems. Right from 1980 onwards till 2022, there is more than 50% loss of mangrove ecosystems globally. To understand the significance of mangrove ecosystems, first let's look into the conceptual basis of mangrove ecosystems. Number one, what is a mangrove? Mangrove is like a strip of forest which lies in between the ocean or sea and the mainland. So it acts as a border between the sea and the land. In general, most of the mangrove ecosystems survive on coastlines, and mangrove ecosystems in general comprise of the shrubs, the trees, small plants which are endemic to specific coastal, tropical and subtropical areas on the planet Earth. And then these mangroves have unique qualities where no other plants or ecosystems possess. Few of those qualities are: number one, these mangrove ecosystems are salinity resistant. The plants which grow in mangrove ecosystems are salinity resistant. They can withstand high concentrations of salt and they can withstand the low concentrations of oxygen in the atmosphere or in the air, in the soil. So to compensate these resistance to salinity and the low oxygen levels, these mangrove plants and trees have some unique qualities, like number one, the pneumatophores. That means the root system of these plants which grow in mangrove ecosystems have tiny pores to absorb the low oxygen concentrations in the mangrove soils, and these are otherwise called as breathing root systems. No other ecosystems and no other types of plants possess such breathing root systems, which are called as pneumatophores. And then one more unique attribute given to the plants and trees which grow in mangrove ecosystems are the viviparous nature of these plants. What do you understand by viviparous nature of these plants? The seeds do not grow independently outside the plant. The seeds in general germinate on the surface of the parent plant itself. Once the seeds grow into tiny plants, they fall off from the parent plant and they are washed or they are moved by the water currents away from the parent plant, and they would settle down on a stable soil surface and grow as a larger tree. So these two systems are unique to plants which grow in mangrove ecosystems. And getting back to India's specific scenario of mangrove ecosystems, according to the Indian State of Forest Report 2021, India's mangrove forest cover is approximately 4,992 square kilometers. This in general comprises to 0.15 to 0.25 of the global mangrove ecosystem coverage which is present in India. And India is home to one of the world's largest mangrove ecosystem in the name of Sundarbans. So very significant contribution of these mangrove ecosystems which span right from West Bengal across the east coast till the Gujarat in the west coast. Across the shoreline, India has got large or vast extent of mangrove ecosystems. So primarily we will be focusing on the east coastal mangrove ecosystems, and to be specific, the mangrove ecosystems which are present in Andhra Pradesh as well. So on the east coast of India, the mangrove ecosystems span from Ganges Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri river delta regions. So these areas have dense mangrove ecosystems, and these mangrove ecosystems have lot of uses or benefits to mankind. What are the benefits here? Number one, mangrove ecosystems help in the environmental stability or stabilization, coastal stabilization, environmental stabilization. That is, they control the movement of gases, movement of moisture, and they prevent soil erosion. And the second benefit is they help in purification of water, especially they absorb the surplus nutrients which come from the mainland or because of human interventions, and they prevent harmful algal blooms and thus prevent eutrophication. This is one process of purification system of water. And then comes the concept of blue carbon sink. So mangroves or mangrove ecosystems act as blue carbon sinks here. What do you mean by blue carbon sink here? These mangrove ecosystems or trees in mangrove ecosystems absorb surplus carbon dioxide and help in stabilization of adverse impacts arising out of global warming and climate change. Along with all these benefits, the mangrove ecosystems are home to a wide array of flora and fauna, and thus mangrove ecosystems help in conservation of biological diversity. So mangrove ecosystems support biodiversity. Apart from that, mangroves, by the very presence between the oceans and mainlands, they in general help in managing or limiting the wind speeds and thus protect the shoreline from the cyclonic storms or tsunami related coastal erosion. So these are the benefits concerned with the mangrove ecosystems globally and as well as in India. So what is the problem now? Because of human intervention, there are threats associated with these mangrove ecosystems. So what are the threats associated with these mangrove ecosystems? So these threats are in the form of your aquaculture, the shrimp farming, the rice cultivation, the oil palm or palm oil cultivation, industrialization, and then you have oil spills. Along with all these things, temperature variations. Please understand that with a 10-degree variation of temperature, mangrove ecosystems cannot survive. They are very sensitive to temperature variations. As we said, that mangrove ecosystems are present only in tropical and subtropical regions. Any more than 10-degree variation in the temperature would adversely impact the very survival of mangrove ecosystems. So all these, along with human interventions, they are posing threats for the existence of mangrove ecosystems. So what are the international efforts for the purpose of conservation of these mangrove ecosystems? They are in the form of, number one, including mangrove ecosystems in biosphere related conservation programs, number one. Number two would be a joint collaboration by the IUCN and the UNESCO, which is in the form of the conservation of the mangrove ecosystems here. And the third is in the form of one international NGO, which is International Society for Mangrove Ecosystem Conservation, which was started in 1990, which is an international NGO. Along with that, we have the 26th July, which commemorates the International Day for the conservation of mangrove ecosystems, to create widespread global awareness concerned with the conservation of mangrove ecosystems. So this is about the historical facts, the scientific elements about mangrove ecosystems, the uniqueness of the plants which grow in mangrove ecosystems, their benefits or significant contributions because of mangrove ecosystems to humans, and threats posed by human intervention to mangrove ecosystems, and international efforts concerned with conservation of mangrove ecosystems. Hope this session was of some help to you, and please like, share and subscribe SP Reddy Study Circle, and thanks for watching.